My late husband and I didn't have a good relationship. He struggled with alcoholism and ultimately drank himself to death after I divorced him. After some time, I remarried, but my daughter doesn't get along with my new husband. They have a strained relationship, and I married him while she was in college. She's hated that I've remarried and is an idiot to my husband. My daughter's getting married soon, and while I'm excited for her, I've had some concerns about how she's planning the wedding. She mentioned wanting to include a picture of my late husband at the ceremony, which I completely understand as a way to honor him. However, she also wanted me to sit next to his picture during the ceremony, and my husband would sit elsewhere. I told her that I was not comfortable with that arrangement. I also learned she wanted me to sit with a picture at the family table, but my husband wouldn't be sitting there either. I told her no. She got upset and said I was selfish and disrespectful to her and her father's memory. I told her that if that's her plan, I won't be able to attend the wedding. She called me an idiot, and now the family's involved. So, am I the idiot for refusing to sit next to a picture of my late husband? So she wants you to sit alone with the photograph rather than with your husband. Tell her you're going to put a little shot glass in front of the picture and then keep adding another glass every 20 to 40 minutes just to add a touch of authenticity while you sit beside your husband at whatever row or table she puts him in. OP, please give in to your daughter and do this, and take pictures. Also, just kidding. While the idea is lovely, just don't. You are not the idiot. Honestly, the thought is super creepy and morbid to me. Mom's alive and vibrant with a partner and a new lease on life. She's to sit next to a deceased person's photo who she divorced due to his alcoholism? Like she's on display at a circus sideshow. Wait, I think it's traumatic as well. Tell her you'd both be happy to sit with other guests and not be a part of the formal wedding party. I think the daughter has this idyllic view of her parents sitting together at her wedding, and she wants to make it happen, even if it's in make-believe land. Does the bride not hear herself? Nuts is the right word. She's just unhealthily attached to her dead father, which is why she hates the new husband. Including a photo of her dad is sweet, but having you sit next to a photo, especially considering your history with him, is ghoulish. You divorced, and that's not a light decision. You had to make a hard choice in life to no longer tie yourself to him, and having you sit next to a photo of him ties you back together in his death. There are ways of honoring the dead and remembering them during milestones, but your daughter doesn't get to disrespect the living to do so. If she's grown enough to get married, she's grown enough to not be this silly. I, male 31, am getting married to the love of my life, Parker, female 29. We've been together for 2 years, and a couple of weeks ago, on our anniversary, I proposed. I know it seems early, but I'm certain that she is my forever. Recently, we were talking wedding plans, as we don't want anything crazy, just something small and intimate so we can go on a nice honeymoon, because she's always wanted to see Japan. I brought up how I'd have my brother as my best man, and that's likely as my only other friends are my best friend Morgan, female 28, and her fiance Alex, male 29, and that Morgan and Alex would attend as regular guests. She got quiet and then said that Morgan won't be attending at all, as she doesn't want her there. For some backstory, Morgan and I met via online gaming 4 years ago. I was in a super dark place. We clicked and became fast friends. She introduced me to her fiance, and the three of us became friends. I became a lot closer with Morgan, and she helped me to do a total 180. She helped me quit my old job and pursue what I wanted. She forced me to sign up for dating apps, etc. She helped me become the man Parker deserves. We had a weekly gaming session, and when I met Parker, she was ecstatic for me. After Parker and I became official, I introduced them, and like Morgan had anticipated, Parker wasn't thrilled about my best friend being a female. Morgan offered many times to cut contact with me because she never wanted to stand between me and a chance at happiness. But I told her I'm a grown man, and my girlfriend needs to deal with who I'm friends with. Morgan and I have never flirted, never had feelings for each other. She genuinely is just my best friend, and I envision her as more of a sister than anything. As Parker and I advanced in our relationship, Morgan and I drifted, but we still tried to do weekly gaming sessions. But I canceled it many times to spend time with Parker because I never wanted her to feel less important than Morgan. I'm pretty sure Parker planned dates maliciously on game night, but I don't really care because I value her over Morgan. So with that being said, I'm extremely annoyed that Parker still holds some sort of grudge and expects me not to invite my best friend to our wedding. I want to add, Morgan lives in New York and I live in Vancouver, so we don't even hang out in person. We're strictly internet buddies. I told Parker that she's being immature and inconsiderate of my feelings to want Morgan excluded, and that I love her more than anything, but she needs to respect my appreciation for Morgan. She won't talk to me now. So, am I the idiot? Edit. Morgan and I never hung out in real life yet. We were supposed to a few times, but her and Alex worked very high-demand jobs, and she was pregnant with a high-risk baby. I was invited, as well as Parker, to their daughter's 6-month party, but a week before, Parker surprised me with a trip to NS the same week as the party, and I went with her. Not the idiot, but your fiancé sure is. You say she's the love of your life, but would someone who truly loves you block you from spending time with friends? Especially online. Ask yourself, who else will she block you from? What if you get a female colleague and spend a lot of time with her? Will she ask you to quit? Also, does she have any male friends? It's pretty obvious your fiancé has some trust issues. Guarantee you, this is not the only line she's going to draw. Ultimatums and silent treatment already, and you guys aren't even married yet. OP, are you sure you want to marry someone who's trying to ruin your relationship with your best friend? Their gender is irrelevant. This is a massive red flag. Parker is never going to accept Morgan. I think you need to seriously consider in your life if you're willing to crap out your best friend forever, because that's where you're headed. Everyone's the idiot. Your engagement has come too soon. Not necessarily because an engagement 2 years in is particularly uncommon, but because you're clearly in a honeymoon phase still with a woman you very clearly haven't learned how to communicate with. It's time to put wedding planning on ice and have some long, difficult conversations instead. I love her isn't enough. So I, 34 male, live in a suburban neighborhood with a decent-sized backyard and a pool. I've always been friendly with my neighbors, including Karen, mid-40s female, who moved in next door about a year ago. She seemed nice at first, but as time passed, she started showing her true colors. Over the summer, Karen started coming over with her kids, asking if they could use the pool. At first I didn't mind because I was usually outside anyway, and the kids seemed to enjoy it. But soon things got weird. Karen began showing up unannounced, sometimes even when I wasn't at home. I caught her using the pool without my permission. One day I came home to find Karen and several of her friends having a full-on pool party in my backyard, complete with snacks, music, and pool floats. I confronted her, and she acted like it was no big deal, saying, "Oh, you weren't using it, so I figured it was fine." I told her politely but firmly that she needed to ask before coming over, and that I wasn't comfortable with her just assuming that she could use the pool whenever. Karen seemed annoyed but agreed to follow the rules. Then last week, she took things to a whole new level. Karen knocked on my door with a typed-up list of pool rules that she wanted me to follow. Her list included things like no swimming after 5 p.m. because her kids have a strict bedtime, no loud music when her family is outside, mandatory weekend access for her and her kids, but only for their exclusive use. I thought she was joking at first, but she was dead serious. I laughed and told her there was no way I was following any of her rules for my pool. Karen got angry and called me selfish, saying I was ruining the neighborhood spirit and being unfair to the kids. Now she's been spreading rumors to other neighbors that I'm a bad guy for not sharing the pool. Some of the neighbors have even said I should just let it go to avoid drama. But I feel like this is insane. It's my pool, and she's acting like she owns it. Am I the idiot for refusing to let Karen and her kids use my pool after she demanded I follow her ridiculous rules? So basically the pool and backyard are only maintained by you for the enjoyment of Karen and her family? Not the idiot. Karen is insane. Purchase a camera for the pool that has an app to notify you when someone's in that area. People like her never back down, so you can't either. If you do, you'll never know a moment's peace. OP needs to lock their fence so this nitwit can't get in. And if they don't have a fence, build one. OP, you realize Karen will be the first one at your door with a lawyer if one of her kids hurts themselves in your pool, right? Send back Karen's list with edits. We will use our pool whenever we want, as it's on our property. Neither you nor your family are allowed on our property under any circumstances. If you or your family members set foot on our property, we will be calling the police, and you'll be having mandatory time with a police officer exclusively for your family. Quick update. Just to let everyone know, my backyard fence doesn't have a lock. I've taken your advice and purchased one from the store, and I'll install it tomorrow. For those suggesting I get a camera, I already have one, but it's not pointing directly at the pool. It's more about the fence entrance. I, female 30, and my fiance, male 31, recently discovered that we're expecting. We're super excited, but as private people, no one outside of our immediate families will know. This is actually my second pregnancy. My first ended in miscarriage. Out of a mix of anxiety and caution, we've decided to wait until after my anatomy scan, which is the week before Christmas, to announce it publicly. Since they're a day apart, I host a big gathering for Christmas and my birthday every year. Friends fly in, and it's the one time my divorced parents can stand being in the same room together. Since my scan is right before the party, and I should be starting to show, I'm thinking about using the birthday part of the evening to announce the pregnancy. Here's where maybe the idiot comes in. My ex, male 32, will likely be there. We're still friends because he's close to a lot of my social circle, and we try to be civil. My fiance and ex were friends for over a decade before things went south. My ex and I dated on and off for a year. It wasn't great. He was controlling and obsessed with the idea that I'd cheat on him if I did anything without him. Several months after our final breakup, my fiance and I started dating. My ex demanded my fiance choose between their friendship and me. My fiance chose me. My ex then spread rumors that we cheated. We lost a lot of friends, and the ones who stayed neutral are why he's still at gatherings. If they're invited, excluding him sometimes feels awkward. Even though my fiance and I have been together for over a year, my ex seems to be having some lingering feelings or bitterness. He refuses to acknowledge our engagement, and the energy's always off when I see him. Some friends think he's still grieving, but my fiance thinks we should cut him, and those who defend him off. As for me, I'm just trying to maintain peace with the friends who stuck around after the pandemic. None of our friends know we even want kids. I was the oldest sibling of many and used to joke that I'd done my time raising kids. I had an IUD and was actually scheduled for a tubal ligation, but I got pregnant against all odds. That first pregnancy and the subsequent miscarriage changed my heart about having kids. Since our friends don't know about that, this announcement will come as a surprise, especially to my ex. And yes, it's half a Christmas party, so I can give my friends and family their gifts, but everyone's really there for my birthday. So, am I the idiot if I announce my pregnancy during my birthday portion after the Christmas part of the evening? Your ex shouldn't be there. Why is he even invited? Your fiance is 100% correct. You should cut him off. Your fiance has a lot of patience to put up with you trying to keep the peace. You can maintain peace by not demanding your friends cut him off by creating distance. This is someone who doesn't respect your relationship. He can grieve elsewhere. You and your fiance are announcing, not just you. Ask him who he wants to be there. You are the idiot for putting your fiance in a position to keep being around a guy who accused him of cheating on you. OP keeps hitting her thumb with a hammer and came to ask if she should continue to do so. Lady, you're about to be a parent, so it's time to stop acting like you're still in high school. Don't invite this guy and let your friends know they need to drop the crap or they don't need to come either. Personally, it sounds like your friends are not true ones if they can't see how weird it is. I thought she was going to say they have kids together, so they have to have a relationship because they're co-parents. OP, I mean, you called your ex controlling, and you're still leaving room for him to control you? For example, by considering his feelings for your pregnancy announcement, everyone you invite to your home and life should be nothing but happy for you. You will need to ask yourself why you have people who don't offer you love and happiness, especially now that you'll be an example for your baby. They're always watching. Update. He's the quintessential nice guy. I have 0 local friends who aren't also connected to him in some way. And leaving this friend group shuts me out of the local scene for my hobby. Maybe I'll float the idea of moving with my fiance and see if we can start fresh, just the 3 of us elsewhere. It's easier to move now before the little one arrives. My uncle brought me, Teen, out to eat on Saturday because he wasn't here for my birthday 3 weeks ago. He had to take my step-siblings, a young teen female and a tween male, with us. He's not their step-uncle, by the way. He's my mom's brother. My step-siblings are my dad's stepkids. My uncle and dad used to be best friends, but their friendship ended when my mom died 2 years ago. Things are messy because my uncle still wants to see me, and I want to see him, but dad doesn't want my step-siblings left out, so they get dragged around sometimes. Something kind of relevant is that my step-siblings have, not anaphylactic kind, food allergies. Their allergies are different from each other, and they get rashes and puking and stuff from eating foods they're allergic to. This has become such a focus for my dad and their mom that I don't get to eat out at places I like, even when my step-siblings aren't there, because it's not fair. I'm also the only person in the family, I think it's more of a burden than a family, who never gets to have my favorite restaurant on rotation for eating out. My dad, his wife, and both my step-siblings get their number one choice, but mine doesn't easily accommodate my step-siblings. I can't have it. All my top 5 are out, even for my birthday. I hate it. I resent it. I don't have the family affection or mushiness for them to make it easier. I just basically suck it up. But when my uncle was taking me, I made my top choice, and he took us. My step-siblings didn't eat. I didn't even feel bad because their needs are always put first, and they shouldn't have been tagging along anyway. Their mom was so angry when my uncle dropped me off, and my dad was disappointed in me. He asked me why I chose it, and I told him it's my favorite restaurant, and it's been almost 6 years since I got to eat there because they decided I can never have it while I live with them. I told him it was meant to be celebrating my birthday, and since I got messed over when they celebrate me because of my step-siblings, I didn't see why I had to do it when my uncle was taking me. I told him they shouldn't have been there in the first place. I didn't want them there. He was just messing with my uncle. His wife heard me say her kids shouldn't have been there, and she asked where my compassion is and where my sibling bond went, and I told her I never had one. My step-siblings were really upset they'd been forced to watch the 2 of us eat, and that made their mom angrier at me and dad more upset with me, especially because I didn't feel bad about it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He's your uncle, not theirs. It was your birthday celebration, not theirs. Steal those little moments for you whenever possible. Your dad is going to realize his mistake when you're nearly adult and you start doing things without them and seeing your uncle on your own terms. Your dad should want you to enjoy a restaurant you enjoy and not force your step-siblings to be brought along. I feel for your step-siblings, but not to get to choose even if step-sibs aren't there are all sorts of messed up. I hate this attitude that the world revolves around a person with allergies, unless they're deadly. I grew up with multiple food allergies, eggs, nuts, seafood, etc. So no birthday cake, cupcakes, chocolate bars, desserts. Never once have I ever made someone choose a restaurant, decline a cake, remove a dessert, or do anything to cater to my allergies. Because they're my allergies, mine to deal with. Step-siblings are old enough to know this. Sorry that you have such a crappy dad and step-monster.